Hey guys, welcome to SLCC Talks, or Slick Talk as we like to call it. Today we are actually pre-recording this episode on the 14th anniversary of 9/11, and many of our panel members felt that it was appropriate to discuss 9/11 as well as the current event situation, the fallout, I guess, from that, as well as what's going on in the Middle East and involving the European Union. To start off discussions, I'd like Tracy to go ahead and start us off. Tell us a little bit about the situation in Syria.
Well, in Syria, there's a civil war. All of the governments are going against each other. There's a total of 6. So far, that is what Wikipedia has said. So those resources are, 50% right there. I mean, Wikipedia still is saying that Pope Francis' stance on abortion is still solid. So,
yeah.
I don't know how great that resource is.
So personally, I was doing a little bit of research kind of when you brought this up. I didn't really know a ton about it. One of the things, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there was that image of the toddler.
Oh my gosh,
washed up on the beach.
It is absolutely one of the most devastating things I've ever seen as a mom. And I saw that, and it completely, even, you know, it says, images could be disturbing, and I wasn't expecting to see that. And
what exactly is it?
Okay,
I have not seen it.
So Syrian refugees fleeing Syria, the civil war and the civil unrest, taking boats that aren't necessarily the most safe across the Mediterranean, and the boat overturned, and it was, this dad lost his babies, and the picture of this toddler, 2-year-old. Oh my gosh, it was it was awful. It was absolutely awful, and just limp in the...
Just lifeless.
And then
that sounds terrifying. Like, it gets me teary-eyed just thinking about
and then
it.
And then you saw this picture of the rescue worker holding the body, and he was just absolutely unconsolable, I think.
But not only that, but what about the camera woman? The camera woman from Hungary?
Tripped.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was footage of this camera woman, and you see all these refugees that are just literally running for their lives, trying to cross the border. And at first, the first one that I saw, it just said that she tripped somebody. That she tripped a gentleman that was carrying his son. Like, he was just running, she trips him, he falls on top of the kid and keeps going. But there's other images where she's literally kicking other kids and refugees that were running for their lives. Since then, like, of course, the news affiliate that she works for, they released a statement. Yeah, she was just, totally disrespectful, non-professional. She's been terminated, but, I mean, it's just, it's crazy.
There's a lot of controversy about bringing in all of these. They're projecting 1 million refugees over the next year or two. Germany is prepared to bring in like 48,000, or the bulk of the refugees in other countries bringing in 20, 30,000.
The United Nations, they claimed so much with all the different, they're happy that Germany's doing that.
Yeah, but
they hailed them, really, because Germany doesn't have to do that.
No, but they're talking about the problems that the refugees are going to have with completely different language, completely different religions, completely different customs.
They're going to be completely immersed.
They are, and the trauma, but at the same time, how can we,
Have you heard about the billionaire that wants to buy an island for them all?
Well, my main concern
right
with
in the middle of it all, though. Right in the middle of all the
influx of all those immigrants, and it's an issue that we talk about here in the United States a lot. What kind of damage it's going to do on their economies there? At least, like, these immigrants finding jobs, like readjusting, and what kind of strains is this going to put on, like, their healthcare systems and stuff like that.
Well, Germany is saying that they can bring them in because their economy is extremely strong right now. But other economies like Greece, their economy is tanked, and I understand why they're like, we can barely support our own citizens. We can't. The influx is not going to be good, and I think that, here in 2015, we're really trying to talk about human rights, but for the last 50 years, our human rights, how we're treating refugees has not been the greatest. It's almost like some cultures are more culturally significant for us to help and bringing and allowing refugees in than others. But Utah actually has several pockets of refugees, not necessarily from Syria, but the Lost Boys of Uganda that fled. We have a pocket, and we have several other pockets of, so Utah actually tries.
But that's a small number compared to
the millions of people that are fleeing.
that are coming in. And, we complain about 12 million illegal immigrants coming in throughout like the past 50 years. All right, these are countries that are going to be receiving millions of refugees in a short amount of time, in months. And the damage, I do know you want to help your fellow man, but at the same time, like, I'm sure the news reporter, her feelings on the matter, like her sense of pride for her country and these people coming in, and not everyone's going to have that same feeling of we need to help them out. There's going to be this, I guess, backlash of, well, what about us if you can't take care of our issues there?
But I think that's one of the most important things, especially on the day that we're filming on 9/11. To me, it's not just a united America, it's a united world. A united world against evil, a united world against tyranny, a united world against everything that is wrong. And I love one of the jobs that I used to do. I used to work for as a recruiter for a staffing agency, and I got to talk to organizations like Catholic Community Services that helps refugees come in, and they find housing for them, and they try to baby step these refugees that don't have the language, that maybe are new to the culture, and they try to find them jobs like over at the DI or at other places where English isn't, like fluent English isn't totally needed, so that they can take them through the process so they can be legitimate citizens of the United States, not taking out their culture, but just helping them survive in a better situation.
And there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that are helping out with this as well.
I want to really quickly, I want to bring up some numbers that I looked up on CNN earlier. One of the things is that you mentioned Germany. Germany has actually committed to bring in 800,000.
Oh yeah, it's a huge number.
800,000 refugees. So that's 800,000 people. There's still 4 million refugees coming out of the Syria area alone. Now, one of the things that I saw that was really interesting was that it is actually United States federal law that the United States can only bring in 75,000 refugees per year. The United States this year, in 2015, was only planning on bringing in 33,000 refugees from North Africa and the Middle East. And with that being said, last night the Obama administration went ahead and gave the order to bring in 10,000 more refugees. And this has actually split the party. Split Congress. The Republicans did not want them to bring in anybody else. The Democrats wanted them to exceed it past 75,000. With that being said, how does that affect the United States currently? How does that affect us here at home?
I think with that limited number, we have capability, especially with these nonprofit organizations, to help out that number. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of a strain, as some people would call it, on our job situation, our like healthcare systems. But like my main concern is all this that we're doing, is it a Band-Aid towards like the real problem? Because if there's constant need for them leaving like their home countries,
that is absolutely true.
Is this going to be like another situation where we need to, like you said, stand together against evil and tyranny? But is this one of those situations where we get ourselves involved?
Yeah, are we digging our own hole, or are we helping our fellow humans?
And I do know, as far as the parties go, we are very split on what we should do. A lot of the Democrats, avoid war at all costs, and it almost seems like Republicans are very warmongering, like we need to just go ahead and get involved. Like, what steps need to be taken in order to kind of fix this solution? I know in the past we've kind of gone in and set up our own regimes that can kind of help out.
That whole area is completely unstable economically, politically.
Well, economically, something that can help, and it's a little bit off, but the Iranian deal and us releasing sanctions on them.
Yeah, because you're talking about a Band-Aid. Is that a Band-Aid?
Is it a Band-Aid?
That we're doing?
And there's been issues with the deal there. I know this releasing the sanctions, if they comply to all these terms, which Congress may or may not, pass, it's $101 billion I was researching into their economy every single year. They're going to be able to export their gasoline and their oil and a lot of stuff like that.
While Libya is doing all of this war renegade, what is that going to do to oil?
Well,
there's UAE that's over.
Well, I don't think oil is really going to change. Like, there's been no
But they have an island made out of gold because of their oil.
And there's plenty of countries that can supply the world. In fact, Iran in itself right now supplies 11% of China's full oil. and they're not even, and that's China going around the sanctions that we have kind of put in place. Not to mention Russia, who is a big gas guzzler themselves. Once these sanctions are released, honestly, I feel like for us,
I thought
as a
they
convenience,
guzzled alcohol.
We're going a little bit off topic here.
But as far as like stability, economic wise, like I feel like the Iranian deal will help out, like as far as economics. But what are we doing as a country, or what are we doing as a world together in order to fix these problems with like ISIS and like their rape policies?
Is it the United Nations or is it the U.S.?
And slavery.
Guys, we're actually going to have to end it on that question, unfortunately, because we're running out of time. I apologize about that. I know our panelists are very passionate about it. I'm sure you at home are very passionate about it as well. Before we go, I'd like to thank Slick Food Services for providing this pizza with us. Please continue this conversation with us on our Facebook page in our comments. That's facebook.com/SLCC Talk. We'd love to see you back here again, and we'll see you next time. We'll make sure to save you a slice.